Encompass for Success has several tracking features available to both administrators and staff to support school improvement planning. This video will show you how to create a tracking group based on customized criteria, how to export student lists and data to Excel, as well as to share this group with some staff or all staff within the school. To create a student tracking group, click on the blue LAP button in the center of the top menu bar and select Student Tracker. You'll notice that a new tab is opening up in your web browser, and it's bringing you to the Student Tracker page. When this tab opens, it will summarize all of the current tracking groups that you have created or have been shared with you. You will first have to select the type of new group that you would like to create. The first group is called an automatic group. It means that if students meet the criteria that you are setting, then all students get added to that group that meet that criteria. The second type of group underneath is called a manual group, which allows you to create a student list based on selected criteria, but then you have the option of manually selecting which students you would like to track within this group. I will first demonstrate how to create an automatic group. So I'm just going to click on the blue arrow, Create Automatic Group. From this view, you will see that the screen is divided into 3 different columns. The left column shows you the types of filters that you can use to select students for this group. The middle column allows you to customize the criteria that will be used to select students for this group. The right column shows you the list of students that are currently in your building that meet the criteria that you have set. So as you can see, I haven't added any criteria, and so there are no students added to my group. For example, if you would like to generate a list of students that are currently enrolled in your school, you would first select School as the filter. Click on the name of your school, either if you teach or are a principal at an elementary school or a secondary school. So I'm just going to check that off. And then click on Add Filter. And you'll see that this filter is added underneath the criteria. And below in the table, it provides a list of students that are currently enrolled at this school. So there's 179 students at this school. Here's their first name, last name, and some information about these students. Then, if you have a question, for example, who are my current grade 9 students that did not meet standard in the mathematics section of the grade 6 EQAO, then you would build those criterias. So I would first restrict this list of students by grade. So I go on the left column to grade, and I'm just going to check off grade 9. So I want a list of all the grade 9 students that are currently at my school, and I'm going to click on Apply Filter. And you'll notice that the second filter has been added as a criteria, and now there's only 41 students meeting this criteria. To further restrict this group by EQAO results, I would then go to the grade 3 and 6 EQAO filter on the left-hand side, and I would enter in the criteria. So these grade 9 students would have written the grade 6 EQAO in 2013, 2014. I can then add a subject. I'm just going to select the latest EQAO, which will be for this group, grade 6. And I can enter in a restricted score, for example, 2.1 to 3.1, and click on Add Filter. So of these 41 students, 10 of these students have met this criteria. They are enrolled at my school, they're grade 9 students, and scored between 2.1 and 3.1 on their grade 6 EQAO mathematics large scale assessment. If you'd like to delete any of the criteria, all you need to do is click on the minus symbol behind that criteria, and that will remove that filter. If you'd like to start over, you can click on the red garbage can at the very end, and that will eliminate all of the criteria that you've currently built. If at this point you're just doing some research and you would like to export this group as a PDF or Excel spreadsheet, then you can click on the PDF or the Excel icons above the table. Remember that the more criteria you add to the list of students, the fewer the students that you may have that might match that criteria. So you'll want to take the time to go through all of the filters on the left-hand side to understand all the possible criteria that you can use to create a student group. When you're finished, you can finalize this group by clicking on the green arrow at the bottom that says Continue. You can name the group. So if this is related to your school improvement plan, you might want to call it SIP, grade 9. You can add a description. So perhaps you want to add in the criteria. You can also target it at the school level and select the school that this group is going to support. And you can actually share it or have it at the school level or at the teacher level. You can also check off whether the group is active, which means that the data will be refreshed and the criteria will actually use the updated data moving forward. For example, if your tracking group is related to attendance information, when attendance gets updated nightly, perhaps, if you're looking at students that have 10 or more absences, then active will allow those students to be added to that group once they hit a particular threshold. Locked means that the membership of this group is locked, that despite the data being refreshed, those students will be tracked throughout the year. Frozen is more for research or a snapshot analysis. You just want to freeze all the members and the data within the student group for analysis. You can also change who can view this student group. So public means that all members within our board will see this group. They will not see student information, but they'll be able to pull up your criteria that you've used to create this group. Private means that only you can see it. Shared means you can share with other staff within your school. So when you click on shared, you can choose the staff that you wish to share it with. So selecting your school and click apply. When you're finished creating this group, click on the green checkmark submit button at the bottom of that panel. And if I scroll down here, you'll see that I've added this group, School Improvement Plan Grade 9, the date, information about the group. As well, you'll see this yellow wheel where you can go in and customize or change that criteria, or you can click on the red X and delete that group. To create a manual group, you would repeat the same steps as I just demonstrated, but notice that there are some changes. So to create a manual group, you're going to click on the create a manual group. You'll see the same page with 3 panels, but notice that if I were to go over to my student list and I go to group members, that there's no group members in this group. So I could build my student list using the same criteria. So I first ask the question, give me the list of students that are currently enrolled in my school. I would click on apply filter, and again, it returns 179 students. But when I go over to the group members, there are no group members yet. Then I want to restrict it to grade 9 students. Click on apply filter. I now have retrieved 41 students. And again, using that EQAO criteria for the mathematics section of the test, click on add filter, and I return these 10 students. Maybe there's other information that I'm going to use about these students to actually determine whether or not I want to add them to my group. So maybe I want to select perhaps these 5 students to my group. And then at the bottom, you're going to click on Add Students. Once I've done that, you'll notice that the group membership now have 5 students that are part of this group. This strategy can also be used if you have a caseload determined by Alpha and you want to create your own group. You could either select individual students, or perhaps if you have pages of students, you can use the first checkbox to select the entire page. You would save this group using the same steps as before, pressing continue and entering in the information about that group. When you return to the Compass portal page, what you'll want to do is refresh the page by clicking on the Encompass logo in the top corner. Then what you'll want to do is scroll down to the orange Student Groups ribbon, and you'll see your student tracking group listed there. So I'm just going to click on that tracking group, and this is going to bring you to the group dashboard where you can look at the information graphically for all of those students. So it's very similar to a class profile page, but now you're looking at all the students that have been selected to be tracked using the criteria that you've established. You can click on the group profile where the information is going to be presented in a table. Similar to the class profile pages, you can select the data that you wish to display. So perhaps you want to look at secondary mathematics grades, perhaps you want to look at number sense and numeration from the elementary report card. You want to look at the mathematics section of the EQAO, whether they had any CCAT or CAT4 data available. And so you can customize and update the table using the pull-down menus. You also have the ability to sort the information using any of the headers. So if you click on the header, it will sort all the students from lowest to highest. If you click on it again, it will reverse the order. You also have the ability to quickly pull up attendance trends. So if you want to look at, well, you know, this student had 15 absences. If you click on the number 15, it will pull up a table giving you information about those absences. You can also add a quick note for a particular student. Again, if you want more information about creating notes, look at my How to Create a Note video on the StaffNet page. You can also upload files to attach to that student profile. If student groups are shared with staff, then from their class profile, they will also have a pull-down menu to let them know that they're part of a student tracking group. So if I go to a class profile and I see the student group pull-down menu, here's my School Improvement Plan Grade 9 student group. It will actually simply tell me of the students that are currently in my class, which one of them are being tracked in the student tracking group. If you have any questions or concerns about using a student tracking group to support your school improvement plan, please submit a help desk ticket.